All right. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It's that time of the day. It's 1 p.m. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to PTM Hangout. Yep. PTM is 3 years old. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, so we turned 3 years old yesterday. Okay, on the 20th of July 2019 was when we started this community. Prior to this community, I had hardly been online. Okay, and the online space. Okay, and then I did stumble. Someone invited me, to this space, and then I started following. I was invited by a friend, right, to join the TIP actually, and then I joined the TIP and started sharing a lot about my parenting journey and all of that, and got inspired, got motivated, and then I started listening, to I started listening inward, and today we're here sharing experiences, sharing knowledge, and sharing our own quota into, supporting parents and raising children who would be a blessing to us as their parents and a blessing to the community and the society at large. So, welcome. My name is Mary Beth Chima. If we haven't met before, I am the convener of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy and community on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. I am super excited to be on your screen today. If you are with us, if you have joined us, please, if you have joined me, sorry, 1 second, please. Turn on this for me. No. If you have joined us, yes. If you have joined us, sorry, please. Sorry, can't see. If you have joined us, please let us know where you're joining us from, and let us know on what platform you are joining us. Are you joining me on Facebook or on YouTube? If you are on YouTube, please do subscribe. Click on the subscribe button and join us. If you are on YouTube, please click on the subscribe button and join us, right? And so that whenever we come live, you would always know that we're live and you don't miss out on the resources that we have in that community. If you're on Facebook and you have someone who needs to be here today, I think it is time for you to tag them and invite them to come and be a part of what we are doing here today. Okay. All right. So let's move. Today I hope I am. Please, if you can hear me live and you can see me, do let me know that you can see me and you can hear me. All right. 1 second, please. Please move this. All right, if you can see me and you can hear me, do let me know that you can, and do let me know on what platform that you are joining us. If you have someone who needs to be here, please by all means invite them straight up so that they can be a part of what we are doing right now. Today we're talking about what it takes for you to be an intentional mentor parent. It's two things though. We're not just talking about you being intentional as a parent. We're talking about you being a mentor parent at that. Okay, if you have read my post in the group earlier on, I started by saying that being giving birth to a child is like the barest, right? Is the bearest criteria that is needed for you to be a parent. It's like the beginning step. Okay, not necessarily, because it's not even compulsory that you need to birth a child for you to be a parent, right? So yes, having a child is the least criteria, right, that is needed for you to be a parent. It goes more than that. I mean, it's far more than that. Because yes, for you to be a parent, you would have to, I mean, a child has to be present, right, for you to parent that child. So the first stage is birthing that child, and it really doesn't matter who has birthed that child in the first place. So yes, you who is a biological parent can actually go on and be an amazing parent. Okay, sorry, this fan is disturbing me. Just give me a minute. Let me turn it off completely. Sorry about that, please. Okay, so you who is a biological parent can go ahead and become an amazing parent. Okay, and yet someone who is not a biological parent can also become amazing, and just as amazing or even better, than a biological parent. So it goes more than just birthing a child is required for you to be, okay, a successful parent, or for you to be an intentional parent, or be a mentor parent to your child. Today I'm going to be sharing with us 5 things that are very important, right? I'm going to be sharing 5 things that are important for you to become an intentional mentor parent, right? I'm going to be sharing that with you. And yes, we are going to have a guest that will join us, sometime in this show. Chiedozie is a teen coach. Coach Chiedozie is a teen coach, and an amazing one at that. And just because you're special, and because we are celebrating a special day, I thought Coach Chiedozie should join us today so that we can have this conversation. Yes, Coach Chiedozie is not a parent yet, right? Yet he can match up any parent and parent a child amazingly, because he has a lot of children that he's mentoring. So you know what? So you see what I'm talking about when I talk about, being able to mentor a parent, being able to parent a child doesn't necessarily mean that you must be, right? You must be the biological parent of that child. All right, so let's just dive straight into it. Okay, so the number one thing that you need, basically, I'm sure this one we have all heard, right? We know this one, we have heard about this one, we talk about this one, we've been talking about this one forever, and that is knowledge, right? You need knowledge to parent child, and that knowledge you can begin to get even before you birth the child. So you see, he has nothing. So even for you who is not a biological parent, you can actually have the knowledge that is required to birth a child. And what does it take to get knowledge? It takes being intentional. So that's where the intentionality comes. There are basic things that we know about children, because by virtue of the fact that we're born into families, right? We're born into families. We have people growing around us. We have people living around us. We have neighbors. We have siblings. We have our siblings who have children. Somehow, certain basic things. You were a child at some point and someone parented you. So based on that, you have basic knowledge, or you have some knowledge of what it means to parent a child. So that's why you go to church, or you go to, some social gatherings and all of that. And then you see a parent that is probably struggling with a child behavior. Is having probably a behavioral challenge with the child per time. And you see young people, or people who are not parents yet, looking at you and being like, physically, you will see it. You will see how pissed they are. You will see how really pissed they are at, what's going on there. And if you move close to those people and ask them, just to have a peek into what is going on in their minds, it will be something like, what's all this? You don't know how to parent your child, as in you don't know how to, this one is just spoiling the child. She doesn't know how to parent the child. She doesn't know, all these parents, all these people that will just give birth to children, they don't know anything, because the average young person, the average single parent, the average young person, or the average person who has not parented a child yet, has some basic knowledge of what it takes. And so they think they have enough, And so every time you're going through a crisis with a child, they seem to profile all the solutions in their head, and they have it. So already, if you give them a second to voice out what they think you should do, they will give you a solution immediately, because everybody thinks that it is easy to parent a child, right? And of course now, if you have to take that advice, you know what it will be. For some people, it will be just slap the child and give the child some brain. For some, it will be just take the child out of this place. For some, it will be because you are condoning all this nonsense. That's why these children are like this. You have those conversations, you hear those conversations, how young people will be like, some parents, some people just don't know. They just think it's too hard. Okay, so basically, so knowledge, basic knowledge, we all have basic knowledge of what it is, based, as I said, on the fact that we've been parented at some point, we grew up at some point, we have people around us, we have siblings, we all of these things. Now, the challenge is when you decide not to know beyond this old knowledge or this basic knowledge, right? And then you become a parent. You become a parent, or you have the opportunity to parent a child, and then all you want to do it with is this basic knowledge, the one that says slap them to give them sense, they're talking to you anyhow, you show them who is the boss, all those simple basic knowledge. You need to see people, you greet them, you need to be quiet when adults are talking, you need all those do's, oh, don'ts. It's more like don'ts. We don't even tell children what to do, we just tell them what not to do. So yes, everybody knows the don'ts of parenting, right? Whether you're a parent, whether, so everyone knows the don'ts of parenting. Now, as someone who's been privileged, because if you birth a child, it's a privilege. It's a privilege. Let's leave it at that. Okay. To birth a child is a privilege. So yes, you have become a parent because God has blessed you with a child and you are privileged to have that child. Or you could be a parent because, yes, you did not parent that child. Okay. But you have an opportunity to parent that child. Right. Are you going to do it with basic knowledge? Are you going to stop at that basic knowledge that everybody has? Or you are going to go the extra length to get extra knowledge, more knowledge? And the thing about this extra knowledge or more knowledge about parenting is the fact that it is not static and it doesn't have an end. So yes, I was reading something that Chiedozie wrote, this morning, and he said that parenting has a tenor. The connection is a lifetime thing. I mean, I think it was profound. It was just profound. The connection with your children is a lifelong thing. It's a lifetime thing. You are always going to be connected to your children. You are always going to be their parents. No one is going to take that away from you. You're going to be their parent for a long time, forever rather. But the tenor of parenting is short, and it is between age 0 and 18. So yes, during your tenor as a parent, that time that you are actively leading, directing, or providing care for that child, are you going to rely on basic knowledge, or are you going to commit yourself to getting knowledge that is continuous for the journey? Because remember, it is possible that the knowledge that you have, the basic knowledge that you have, or the knowledge that you have by virtue of how you were raised, can be obsolete. In fact, it is obsolete because nothing has been static for a long time. Even the kind of technology that was in existence when you were born and when you were a little child is not the same technology that is in existence today. The kind of environment that you had back then is not the same environment that you have today. So it's not possible that the environment, the system is changing, and we insist that the template for raising children in that environment and that system will be static. It's being delusional if you think that way. Yesterday, I came out, the kids and I were going for a walk, and I came out, and my son was nowhere. He was ahead, he had gone and all of that. And I turned to the security man and I asked him. In fact, he actually walked towards me complaining and saying, I don't know, every time Kamsi comes out and he wants to go out, I'm always telling him to wait, and he's like, he's fine, he can go on his own and all of that. So the security man he's not finding it funny. Every time I talk to him, like, he was reporting to me like, in case anything, don't call my name or that kind of thing. That's what he was trying to do, but I smiled and I said to him, and of course his concerns are really very genuine, because for him, I said to him, but bros, you know that when we were growing and when you were growing, we could go and we could come, and we did a lot of these things. If we don't allow these children to do these things, you know how it is now. They will be like mini zombies, or they'll be moo. If they have to wait for us for everything and all that. And he said it's true, but ma, the times now. You know how things are today. That's why I'm saying it. So yes, I understand the times, but the truth about it is things have changed, and we must align with the changes, right, that are happening around us. So yes, I may not let him, so it may not be what do you call it? It may not be wise to assume that everything and life is as safe as it used to be back then. Okay, but I don't want to stifle him by micromanaging him all the time. So what am I supposed to do as a parent is to, tread on the side of caution and then take him through the knowledge of being cautious, okay, and then being conscious of safety, security, and all of that. So it is in the knowledge and it is in the information that we pass to these children, and it is in how we equip them. So yes, back in the day, nobody even had to equip us per se, right? We just went ahead, did these things, and we were safe doing them. But today, if you are going to have a child go through these experiences to get this, get these skills and all of that, you have to do it from a place of knowledge, and you have to equip the child. Now, this is the difference, finding that place where you have to equip the child, basically. So if you're going to let your child be out there, okay, so this is where the problem is. If you're going to have the child be out there and do all these things, and you don't equip the child, then you are not being realistic and living in the reality of our times. However, if you now say, because there is this safety issue and all of that, you're not even going to let the child try, you're just going to micromanage the child, make sure the child is safe all the time and all of that, you will still sabotage the child, because you're not allowing the child gain the skills that they need to navigate. Whether the world is bad or the world is good, a time will come when the child is a certain age or comes to a certain level where the child will have to do these things on their own, whether the world is good or the world is bad. At that point, you will find that you are launching out a child who is not equipped, because you were protecting them all this time because of how the world is. But all of that does not stop the child from going and coming to that period where the child can be safe. And you can't start teaching these things at that time. So what we do is, either way, we end up launching children who are not equipped. Okay, so the fact that you're launching the child at 16, 18, right, without equipping the child, doesn't mean that the child is going to be safe at that time either. But it's just that at that time, you cannot put them under your armpit. You can't drive them anywhere anymore. So you see why we must look for the best way to manage them, even with the present situation. But the worst sin you can commit is to think that you would use the same old knowledge that you have, the same old templates that you have, to raise or parent a child in the 21st century or in the present times. Hi, Chidima, it's good to have you here. All right, so knowledge is very key if you are going to parent intentionally and you're going to be a mentor parent. All right, the next one is accepting to be teachable. Oh, goodness. For you to be a mentor parent, or for you to be a parent who is intentional, you must come with your chest and accept that you will be taught. You will be taught by your child. Yes, you need to accept to be taught by your child. Okay? You will give birth to children, or you will have children under your care. Okay, these children, you have never parented their kind before. Every time you parent a new child, stop telling yourself, I have 4 children, so I'm a guru in this matter. Stop telling yourself, I have done this with my younger siblings, so I don't need any new knowledge, or I don't need anybody coming to tell me what to do. Every time, come to their level. Thank you very much. Every time you are parenting a new person, or you're parenting a child, it means that you have a whole new faculty. Okay, in your hand. I mean, you have a whole new faculty to learn from. So yes, you must allow your child teach you. Your child needs to teach you who he is. Your child needs to teach you how best he learns. Your child needs to teach you, how he feels about certain situations, how he wants to be loved, how he wants to be protected, how he wants to be taught. You have to allow your child lead you to all of this. So it is one of the reasons why you see that one child is easy. I mean, your first child comes and the child is easy and all of that. You come and you have your second child and it's a tug of war all the time. Chances are it is because you expect that your second child should be the way your first child was, because you think that, oh, I know how to parent children and this is what it takes to parent children. And so why won't this person conform? After all, I am not the one with the problem. I have parented two already. Can you not see the two of them are doing very well? So yes, it has to be this third one that has a problem. In fact, sometimes it's even, foster children or people who come to be with us, domestic staff, or some of these young girls that parents bring to stay with them to help them, and then they begin to send them to school. And then all of a sudden, it is tug of war. You're constantly, at loggerheads with this child, because all of a sudden in your head, I'm a damn good parent. I have parented two. So this child has to be a terrible human being not to conform to my parenting. Okay? Without paying attention or taking into cognizance that you are in a whole new faculty. So every time you have a new child in your care, you are in a whole new faculty. And for you to be an intentional parent and a mentor parent at that, you must submit yourself to being tutored. You must submit yourself to being taught by the child, first of all. Okay, so you must allow your child teach you. Okay, you must be teachable. The next people or the next person you want to allow teach you is your coach. If you do not have a coach, if you do not have a coach, you do not have an accountability partner, you do not have someone that you can humble yourself. I don't care how damn good you are as a parent. I don't care how many people you have, trained. I don't care how many parents you have turned their lives over. You must be humble in your parenting journey to eat at the feet of somebody. So the place of coaching is very important if you are going to be that intentional parent that is going to be a mentor parent to your child. You must be teachable. You should be taught by your children and then be taught by your coach. You should allow yourself be taught by your spiritual leaders. It's very important, right? Because it takes more than just the do's and the don'ts, right, for you to raise a child. Sometimes, you need spiritual nourishment for you to raise a wholesome child. So you should be ready to learn at the feet of your spiritual leaders. Very, very important if you are going to be an intentional parent who is a mentor parent. Okay? The other thing you need to do is you should be ready to allow the environment teach you. So for you to be a mentor parent, you must learn to strip yourself of all this agbero behavior. You are driving and one driver tries to come between you or something like that, and you turn and you're like, okay, sumu, and your kids are there in the car with you. And see, the environment will not balance itself for you. Right? The environment will not balance itself for you. The society has a lot of craziness in it. So you need to be in tune with the environment that you live in, whether it's in your home, in relation to your spouse, the people that work for you, when you're out there in the streets, when you're there in the market. You need to allow your environment teach you. So you know the things that you can encounter. Okay, the chances that you can encounter these and encounter that, and because you understand that you are a role model, because you understand that you are a mentor parent, you understand that you are an intentional parent, you must allow this knowledge sink in so that you can apply it in your parenting. Okay, this class today is not going to be a very long one, so relax. So the next one is you must position yourself to be a standard. Okay, what did I say? Did I say standard now? No, you must position yourself to be a model. All right, for you to be a mentor parent, an intentional parent, you must come to the realization that you are a model for your child. So it means that you must submit yourself to be changed. Okay, if your parenting, I've said this many times, if your parenting is not changing you, if your parenting has not led you to become a different person than you used to be in the past, then that parenting is not complete. You have not allowed parenting happen to you. You are not ready yet. Okay, now why does this have to be? Because some persons want to ask me, does that mean that when you become a parent you should not change who you are, you should not start pretending and all of that? No, when you become a parent, it means that you have another person that is as important as you are, probably for the time that the person is even more important to you at that time. Now, what do I mean by the person being more important? How the person perceives you, their environment, and how the person sees you reacting to the situations around you is more important than how you feel or how you want to really react towards those things. For instance, you are someone that does not take nonsense from people, right? If someone even tries you, you will give them, as in you will show them, they will know. Now, when you have children, you can't do the same thing. You can't be that volatile. You can't respond to every trigger anymore, right? Before your children came, you will argue out every subject with your husband. You can take the whole night arguing, trying to make him understand that you are right. You will do the same thing as a husband to your wife. You will spend the entire night arguing to make them know that you are the boss. The moment children come into the dynamics, because you know that you're a role model, and you know that your children are going to learn from you firsthand, and they're going to pick, their subconscious mind is going to take everything that you do at face value, and this is what the child will know that is the right way to act given the situation. Then you will put the child ahead of you, and so that will cause you every time to be conscious about your response. You're conscious of your response, how you're responding, how you are acting per time. And you know that thing they say about reputation, right? You know that thing they say about reputation. Reputation is actually the mother of all learning. So you realize that when you keep doing these things, you're conscious of how you're acting before your children every time. And then you repeat this over and over again. What will happen is automatically you will become a changed person. So you're that person that usually you will scream your head out, you will fight everybody that tries to, coming your way. And then all of a sudden, you want to do that, but you see your children around you and you say to yourself, calm down, but you can do this, the kids are here. And then every time you find yourself calming down, before you know it, after a while, through repetition, you will find out that you become that person that is able to calm down in situations. And that's how your parenting changes you. It's not something that will happen in one day. It's something that happens gradually. So yes, if you've been parenting for some time, and your parenting has not changed you, you need to go back and look inward and look at your system and tell yourself the truth. If you're ready for this parenting journey, if you're ready to be intentional about your parenting, or if you're ready to be a true mentor to your child. I've talked a lot about the advantage of being a mentor to your child. It simply means that your child's journey is easier and your child's journey is straightforward, because the child gets to learn firsthand from you, and that behavior, that character, that attribute, that value that the child learns from you is internalized straight up, and the child can run with it. So no, there is no extras. What the child sees is what the child gets, and that's it. The child can learn, and this becomes a habit, and this becomes their normal. Okay, they don't need to go into a classroom, they don't need to go for therapy, they don't need to be under, they don't need, they have firsthand a model before them, and that makes it a lot easier for them to become these wholesome human beings that we're all raising them to be. Okay, so the next one we're going to be talking about is tools and strategies. Okay, so I'm going to be bringing my guest up right now that we're talking about tools and strategies. We'll talk about tools and strategies, and we'll talk about support. All right, so I'm going to bring Chiedozie up right now to join us. Okay, please, what's going on? I can't see my people here. Okay, if you're here and you have someone who needs to be here right now, please tag them, let them be here. If you're watching on YouTube, please share the link so that you have your friends, your circle of friends, your family members, your tribe, your village people, let them all come here and learn from what we're dishing out today. All right, I'm bringing my guest on screen right away. Okay. Hello, Coach B.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm all right. Very well,
All
thank you.
right. It's good to have you here.
Yeah, same here. Congratulations on the third anniversary of PTM.
Yes, so
Congratulations to
yes, so
everybody in
like
the
joke,
house.
we're three.
Yes,
So when
yes.
I looked at when I got at some point I was thinking, because of course I know that our anniversary is in July and all that, but you
Mm.
get swamped sometimes, and there's so many things you have to
And you
do.
forget.
And you are as in I woke up and I'm like, okay, my anniversary is supposed to be one of these days and all that. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's actually what I remembered like the night before it. I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, oh, is that it? We're going to be four. We're going to be like, I couldn't place it. Like, are we going
Oh,
to be four? Are we going to be? And then I'm like, okay, we're going to be three. It's been an amazing journey of
yeah,
learning.
I
It's
can
been
imagine.
great learning. It's been great.
Mm.
The process. I think that's what I am thankful for the most. The process in
Mhm.
all of these. Watching myself grow through all of this. There was that time that you struggle to get up and even show up live. You struggle to get up and show up, you struggle, and today it's like, okay, you wake up in the morning and you just know it's part of the,
Part
it's
of what you're supposed to do.
you
You've been on it
understand.
for 3 years, so you just got to do what you have to do.
Yes, you don't have
Very
to think
true.
about it. It's a mandate. So you wake up today and it's a mandate. And sometimes you're waking up and you know that it's not, in fact, it's not necessarily like as you are giving it, some money is filling your pocket. But you wake up and you show up knowing that someone is going to be
Somebody is
blessed.
getting blessed
Someone
somehow.
is going to be blessed. Someone would just tweak. Someone could probably would likely just tweak their journey because of what you're saying. Someone could actually just lift all you're saying and apply. You just know that, and that somehow you're impacting somebody, and it could just be one person, and that's just fine. There are times we come up here and nobody shows up, and we're cool. We come up and 5 people show up, we're fine. 10 show up, we're good. 100 show up, okay? Oh, do you understand? So either way, we're excited to be here, and that's it. And it's a lot easier when we're doing this with people like you and all the amazing people in this space. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. So I told them how amazing you are, and I've been talking about how we've talked about we've had lots of classes about being a mentor parent, being an intentional
Mm-hmm.
parent, and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. But it's a topic that you can never exhaust, right? It's a
True.
topic that you can never exhaust, because at every point we have to keep reminding ourselves. Hi, Dari, it's good to have you. At every point, we have to keep reminding ourselves of the role that God has given us, or the mandate, or the assignments, whatever way you want to call it. So it's something that needs a constant reminder of. And I was just telling them earlier how to be a parent, you don't necessarily have to birth children, okay? And
Very
how
true.
being a biological parent is like the least criteria in being a parent, because
You're just
parenting
privileged.
begins.
You're just privileged to be that.
Yes, it's a privilege. Yes, I said that. It's a privilege that you are the one that, biologically birthed this child. Because really, the parenting begins after the child is born. So after the child is born, is when you begin to parent per se. So meaning at that point, anybody could actually, parent. And
Play
the
play
fact that
that.
you are a Yes, the fact that you're a biological parent doesn't, it's not a criteria that you will be awesome or you will be an amazing parent. So you could
I
be
mean,
biological.
mentally
Yes,
deranged person on the streets can get pregnant and give birth to a child. So, yeah.
exactly, exactly. So you can actually have a child with someone who is not their biological parent, and the person
Hmm.
parents them extremely, I mean, intentionally, and and all of that. And then I was telling them how you're not even a parent yet, and yes, you're already
Biologically speaking.
you're already parenting not just one but many children. So it just goes to show that there are many things that are involved in this parenting. Okay, so I have talked about the fact that you must accept in the first place to be teachable. So because
Right.
when you become a parent, someone you will be taught by your children, taught by your coaches, taught by your spiritual leaders, taught by the environment. So you must allow yourself to be taught first of all for you to be. Yes, and then of course that the one about knowledge. Knowledge is that one that I mean we cannot overemphasize. If you want to, parents with the same knowledge you have from 20, 30, 40, even for 2 years ago, even last month, if you want parents with that same knowledge, then you are not ready. You should wake up every day finding out what's next, what's going on now, what's the in thing right now, and all of that. So I was just saying the next thing I was talking about was that for you to become an intentional parent, you need tools and strategies. You need
Yeah.
tools and that journey. So when we talk about connection, that is a tool. When we talk about you connecting to with your children, it's a tool. When we talk
Mm-hmm.
about teaching your children skills, it's a tool. When we talk about engaging your children, it's a tool. When we talk about creating structure in your home, all these are tools or strategies that we need to put in place if we're going to raise children, okay, as intentional parents and parents who can mentor the children. So I'd just like you to just talk to us briefly about the place of connection in your parenting. Since you've worked with children, worked with their parents, and all of that, what do you think that connection as a tool does to, parenting, and how that can help you as an intentional parent and a parent who wants to be a mentor?
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Coach MB, for the opportunity to be here. And once again, congratulations. 3 years, man, it's not 3 days. And so, congratulations to you. Congratulations to the PTM community. I've seen a few names here from the backstage, even though I know that sometimes it's difficult to see everybody. There's Christabel, there's Chidima, there's Dare, and quite a number of persons. Just congratulations to everyone in the
Yeah.
house. Okay, so let me speak a bit to the concept of biological or not biological parenting. I draw a lot of inspiration the from the text of the Bible. Okay, and in two spaces, you're going to find one of the prominent ones that says, "Blessed are you, O barren, and they that did not have children. For many are the children of the one who had no biological child, and these other ones." So I've had
Mm,
opportunities to speak to that situation where some persons may be in a relationship, marriage, or something, but the kids are not coming forth and things like that, and so you do not consider yourself a parent. In our community, I've also had this conversation about the different kind of fathers that there are in a society. Because, for instance, how about the child was born and their biological parents passed on?
mm,
Okay, so these ones are also going to be parented. So parenting is both a relation, and I shared this morning about the fact that there is the relationship part of parenting, and then there is the quote and unquote official part of parenting.
mm,
Okay, so you have an office that is tenure based. You have an 18-year tenure to raise an independent individual, a responsible adult. So what are you going to do to make sure that that person you're raising at the 18th birthday you can give gifts to the world?
mm.
and say, see this one. And I can go on and on with a number of examples of how these things have been possible. But then to your question, connection, it's another word for influence. You cannot influence the person you're not connected to. You cannot influence any child. You cannot influence any person you're not connected to, first and foremost. But much more when it becomes a child that you're raising. Children don't learn from who they don't like. Children don't learn from who they have no business with. So if you're going to address the conversation from that perspective, I heard you when you were talking about do's and don'ts. If you're going to address relationship between you as a parent and then the children from the perspective of do's and don'ts, you might as well raise robots because they will be more obedient than human beings. Okay, so if the focus is on do's and don'ts, you're probably not wanting to raise a responsible and independent individual. So, granted, your children will disobey a few times, maybe more than a few times. Granted, there will be a number of issues, missteps, mistakes, and all of those kind of things. But you see, at the place of connection is where we introduce things like forgiveness. At the place of connection is where we introduce things like training. We introduce things like second chances. We introduce things like opportunities. You know, if you're going to stay strictly to the do's and the don'ts, like I said, you might as well raise a robot and you put some codes in there. And then even those in the computer science industry will tell you that even with your code, the computer can still refuse to play according to the code you have input there, just because maybe there's a bug somewhere. But more so
Yeah.
when with a human being that has a will and has emotions. And so connection is about being able to relate to the will and the emotions of this other human being that you are raising. And you know that as everyone gets older, the will and the emotion gets a little more complex and um, the options become more. Okay, so when it was a 3-year-old child that you're raising, they don't really have options. They probably do anything that you say. But when they become 13, they have other options. They have other relationships. They have school. They have teachers. They have friends. They have so many things beyond you. And so at that point, what are you going to rely on? Your do's and don'ts or the relationships that you have been able to build? So relationship and connection, like you said, is a tool for raising a healthy, independent, responsible young person or adult, such that if you do that correctly, you would like I said also, the parenting thing is a relationship, and that relationship is going to last a lifetime. So such that even after your tenure has ended, you still have something in that person that makes them want to come back to you. We've had this conversation about when children are younger, they are running for their parents' attention and seeking that attention, and all of that thing is going on. But as they grow older, the table turns, the equation is reversed. Not the parent looking for the child's attention. So you had better spend the time that you have within your hands to build the kind of relationship where you are not going to be seeking attention in the next few years from now. You're going to have a balanced relationship where everybody is comfortable with one another, and then life goes on. The later part of your life also will be a more healthy and enjoyable one. So that's what I'll say to connection your kids.
Thank you very much, Chiedozie. That was really profound. You know that that whole analogy, how when they're 3 and 2, and they want you, they
Mm-hmm.
just want you. I mean, they just want to be cuddled, they want to be held. They don't really need anything sometimes. Oh, Sha, let
Mm-hmm.
them just be
Mm-hmm.
next to mommy. Let them just be next
Mm-hmm.
to daddy. You're back from
True.
work. Let them just hang around you. The child is seeking your
And you'll be
attention
shoo,
up and
shoo,
down the
shoo. No
place.
problem. Time is coming.
Do you understand? And if you are observant as a parent, if you
Mm.
are someone that is constantly in connection with them, after a while, they don't come rubbing themselves all over you anymore. They are
Mm-hmm.
secure in their attachment.
Yeah.
They could sit
Yeah.
away from you and they are comfortable knowing that they got
You are
you.
there.
No,
Mm-hmm.
most
Mm-hmm.
times it's children who don't have that attention as much as they should, they are the ones that you see trying to come and rub all around because they need to be assured. They need to be
True.
sure that they still
True.
mean something, and because they're not even sure if you will be kind or warm today or not. So they will try
Mhm.
their luck, because sometimes they try and you'll be like, just let me go, 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 Joe, I'm tired. Other times they try and you are warm. So every time the child will just try, who knows, I might get lucky this time. But
And
if
you
the
know
child
the,
is
the, the
sure,
funny thing is when they don't get it, they create situations to make you bring that attention. That's when they will
yes,
break something, they will try to do something
negative
out
behavior.
of character. Most of negative behavior with young people is actually attention seeking. Shay, you
Yes.
have not been hearing since I was talking, and now you're here. Let's do something, and you will hear.
We will do something that will make you. Okay, so and then when that table flips also, because I mean I have relationships with people. I know people that
Mhm.
older, their parents right now, that's sometimes you are there calling your children 5 times a day, 2 times a day. You think it's
Exactly.
coming from a place of love. Not be love. It is
It's
you
me.
seeking attention. Do you understand? It is you seeking attention because you are not sure. Is he as in you're not sure? Am I important to him? Am I not important to him? He's not calling
Mhm.
me so many times. She's not
Mhm.
calling me.
Mhm.
So let me call. You are forcing. Do you understand? To think that you are a parent. So see, these things, they're just it's principles. They're just what they are. We cannot,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
cannot. It is what it is.
It's not
So
a new
very, what was
invention. It has been there. It's just learning the human behavior and understanding how it works.
Yes, yes. Meanwhile, on the other hand, if you have that relationship you've nurtured over the years that is rich, that is secure, you know that all you need to do is check up, and that checkup doesn't have to be first thing in the morning.
Mhm.
You don't
Mhm.
have to create a timetable for yourself to reach out to your
Mhm.
children. It will be
Mhm.
something that comes freely. Oh, I'm missing Chiedozie right now. Where's the phone? Nam, how are you doing?
And we
I'm
can
fine,
just say
mommy.
hi. It could be a chat, it could be a text message, it could be anything, and
And
then
everybody's
we
fine.
roll like that.
Do you understand? Some days you go
Mm.
like a day or two, you haven't, hey, I've not talked to my boy. How are you doing, sweetie? And you go. Your whatever is down. So all this, yeah, because some of us we think that all these people calling us 1 million times because they love us too much. It is because when you have launched out someone that you're not sure of,
Mhm.
something
Mhm.
tells you that the many times you call is what will protect them. And
You
this
stay
other one that we
relevant.
do, that we
That's it.
say, this other one that we say a lot of the times, not because it is wrong, but hey,
Mhm.
it is my mother's prayer that keeps me. Sometimes we twist it all together. So, sometimes we twist it totally. So that's why as a parent, you can't even sleep. You're praying in the morning, you're praying in the night, you're praying in the afternoon, you're praying in the evening, because you have launched out someone that is half baked and you
That
feel
you did
I'm not
not
going to hold
train.
on to God. I'm going to hold on to God in the morning, in the afternoon, in the night. And by doing that, He will be kind to me and protect my child. So you are here at home, you have put your pipe, invisible pipe to connect, so you can't sleep in the morning, you can't sleep in the night. Delusional, thinking that you need to be there holding to God like a shrine for Him to
Mhm.
protect your child. The
Mhm.
things we do
Mhm.
to ourselves because we are choosing not to do what we should do today. So He has said it all. Let's connect with our children today so that tomorrow we're not seeking for attention everywhere, from God, from the child, from everybody around us. Thank you very much, Chiedozie. So tools and strategies are very key. And this class is not about those tools and strategies. We're not going to start listing all the tools and the strategies that we need today. Okay, I mean, we've seen some of those classes, we will see many of those classes, right? That we would be talking about the tools and the strategies and all of that. But there is one tool, or there is one tool that Chiedozie and I are going to be focused on as our last part of this class in the next 10 minutes. And that tool is in support, creating a support system, as a tool in your parenting, as an intentional parent and as a mentor parent. And these supports, can come from different areas, different people, and different places. I have done a class on creating a solid support system, and I talked about, first of all, that one of your support system is the structure that you have created in your home. The structure that you create in your home is such a huge support system that we don't even recognize. When you create structure in your home, what it does for you is it stops you, or it inhibits you from micromanaging your home and everybody in that home.
Mm-hmm.
So it means
Mm-hmm.
that everybody can cope, everybody can thrive, within
I
that
prefer thrive
system.
than cope.
Not cope, yes, that's why I
I
changed it.
prefer thrive
Everyone can,
than cope.
yes, not cope.
Yeah,
So it means that everyone can cope, I mean, thrive.
I thrive in that
So it means
environment.
that everyone can thrive in that system, okay,
Mm.
with or without, the focal person or the primary caregiver that is probably you, the father or the mother. And for every parent, this should be a goal. This should be such a huge goal for you to create a system that allows everybody in your home thrive, right? So that's one. Another one is your children themselves can be a huge support system in your home. Your older kids can be such a huge support system for their younger siblings. Because why do you have a child that is 12 and a sister that is 4 6, and your 12-year-old cannot support his 6-year-old sister to do homework and do all of these other things? Cannot, so basically, if you do the right thing with the older sibling, then they can be your support system, that you can rely on with their younger sibling. So that is another support. Your spouse is a solid support system if the two of you understand what it takes to raise your children together. Do you understand? So as a mother, you could be, under the weather, you could be unavailable, and you are at peace knowing that your spouse is there to step in and do the needful. You know how that thing, mothers will be have to be out of town or something, and you cannot rest. You are supposed to be at a retreat or supposed to be ill, you are in the hospital, and you can't rest because you have not your two children but three babies, your two children and their father, right? Because somehow we have not learned to leverage, the support of our spouse and all of that, right? I'm rushing to get to the one that I want you to talk about, right?
Okay.
Now there is also your friends and your family. What people do you have in your circle? Because if you have the right circle, then you can be at a phase in your life where for 2 days, 3 weeks, 1 month, you need your head in a place, and you can say, something, pack your bag, I'm going to drop you at Auntie Mary Beth's place because right now mommy needs to focus on something else. And you can drop them with Auntie Mary Beth, and you will go to rest knowing that I know that I know that I know, the person that I've dropped my children. We share the same values, we share the same things. If they are good with me, they will be good with this person. We need to create that kind of system. Of course, our family also, because there are people that if their family, their sister, their parents is the last place that they would drop their child in this world, then they would rather hang
True.
on to those children.
Yeah.
You mean it's
Yeah.
we think that, because we don't verbalize these things, we think that it's there. There are people that cannot, no matter what, they can't drop their children with their sibling or with their parents. It's sad, but it is what it is. Okay, so the last one we are going to be talking about, Uncle Chiedozie, is mentorship. Okay, it's mentorship, discipleship, and then other people leveraging on the support of people who have mastery, people who have experience, people who are trained, right, to be your support system. Okay, because we have said you cannot, if you think the four walls of your home or the knowledge that you have is enough to raise a global citizen, then you are delusional. You are totally delusional. So there is that place of mentors. There is that place of your children being coached. There is that place of your children going out of your system and being under the tutelage of other people. There is that space, and all of that. And sometimes they have to do that only sometimes they have to do that away from you. Okay, other times you have to put them before those people and step away. Okay, so that's what I want you to talk about. I know that you're preparing for the Thrive Camp, right? Is that what it's
Yeah.
called? Yeah, you're
Thrive
preparing for that.
2.0, this second
Yes.
edition.
Okay, great. So I know that you're preparing for that, and I know that parents are creating parenting plans for the holiday right now. And some people, I've talked to some parents, and they've told me how their children are going to be doing lesson. They have lesson for 2 hours, a lesson teacher. Then they are going to, yeah, let's just leave this matter.
It's
But
plenty.
anyway, but parents are creating plans right now, and a lot of parents have lesson, they have lesson, then they just have some things that keeps the children with them again, even during this holiday. That is an opportunity for your children to like access other support systems. So let's talk about that quickly before we close for the day. Thank you,
All right.
sir.
Thank you very much. Let me speak to three things. There are three basic ingredients to create success in any family. Number one is knowledge. Number two is discipline. Number three is environment. Okay. Um, and I know we talk a lot about knowledge, which is principle because you can't even begin to do anything until you know what it is you want to set out to do. What is your goal? What kind of child you want to raise? What are their makeup, personality, and all of those? There is so much to learn in the space or on any topic that you pick up with. You can imagine, for instance, that whatever profession you want to practice, you need a minimum of 4 years. That is at the tertiary level. If you add the primary, secondary, and all of that, we're talking about 16 to 20 years of training for you to be able to feature in any kind of profession. It's amazing that one institution that is not subjected to that level of training is the family institution, the parenting institution, and all of those kind of things. So you can imagine how much knowledge is required for this lifelong assignment. All
Wow.
right, but let me shock you. Everything that there is to know in the whole business of parenting is 10% of what it takes to make a successful person. The other 90% is split between discipline and environment. So you can know everything that you know. The way you raise your child in, let me not mention some names now so that we don't digress in this conversation, but the place and environment to which you expose your children can determine whether the knowledge that you have is going to be fruitful or not. Seeds are seeds, but then you plant the seeds in the wrong environment, there's nothing you're doing, the seed will die. There's no amount of prayer you pray for a bean seed on top of this desk that will make it sprout. It will not work. So you have to put knowledge in the right environment. And so that's where this whole concept of, who is your support system, that's where it comes to play. The kind of places that you expose your children to. Then that aspect of discipline. Remember that we said that as your child begins to grow, there are certain levels of influence that you have to relinquish if you're going to be sure you are raising an independent person. And so that's the place where you need mentors, you need guides, you need, again, another level of knowledge. What these people come to do, or what all of the support system that you have talked about comes to do, is to create that sense of discipline and accountability. Discipline and accountability. Your child needs to have somebody apart from you that they look up to for guidance, for direction, for accountability. They need to have another set of adults that they check out the things you're saying, because most of the time you have raised this child for, however long that you have been together, and then they go out. The first thing they do is they begin to test everything you have said. Is it true or not? God help you, they test it out with people that have also set out to counter everything you have trained. And they fall into those kind of environments, you can be sure that they will come out with a different impression. You can be sure that they're going to come out with a different ideology from whatever it is that you're trying to build. And so that is where environment has a lot to play. Mentors and coaches come in to create the structures of discipline and accountability for the child that you're raising. So you spoke about what happens during the holidays, for instance. If during the holidays, all that we do is the same thing we've been doing in school for the last 9, 10 months, then we should not go on holiday. We should just we should not go on holiday. We
Very
just
true. We shouldn't. I mean,
continue
it's not about changing the space where the
where the
where
thing is
the
happening.
learning, the schoolwork is happening.
We should just continue. But man is a spirit. Man has a soul. There is emotion. There are other dimensions of this person that you're supposed to be paying attention to and developing all of those aspects of their lives. And that's where the extra things come to play. You want to go for excursions, you want to travel, you want to visit places, you want to do a boot camp, you want to be in spaces where young people explore and give expression to the other dimensions of their life beyond the academics. Everyone is not going to be a professor as much as we like them. Everybody is not. You can imagine how over time we have not been able to find quote and unquote credible people to lead the political spaces in Nigeria and the rest of Africa. Yet we've been going to school, trying out graduates and professors all of these years. Okay, we have those in entertainment, we have those in business, we have different aspects that call for training, development, and attention, and then the kinds of spaces where these things occur also matter. So that's one of the reasons we created the boot camp, for instance. Thrive, training highly resourceful individuals with value and excellence. You come into a circle where if you are in the academy, we have a mentoring program that runs for the whole year. But this time, where we have a lot of time in our hands with the kids and all of that, you want to expose them to different kinds of learning. You want to expose them to different kinds of mentors, different sessions and teachers, and different kinds of classes. And so they get to see, okay, try out this, try out this, try out this, and they get to identify who exactly am I, independent of my parents. All right. So if you have a structure that has not allowed for your child to be exposed in this manner, then you are not really raising an independent person. You're not really raising a responsible person. You want to have that avenue that holds your child accountable for the things they say they will do. Somebody define integrity for me as more than just speaking the truth. It is doing the things you said you will do by yourself. That's also another level of integrity. Is you promised yourself this year that you're going to read 52 books. How far? We're in July. You promised yourself this year that you're going to do XYZ things. How many of them have you done? You see, it's not simple enough. If all the greatest of human beings in history and today have had coaches and mentors guide them, why is it such a difficult thing for people to realize that as a parent you need a coach? Government hire advisors. I knew I went to a particular state in Nigeria and realized that the governor of that state had 99 advisors. I was wondering how he was managing them. But I'm just saying that, if all these different aspects of life requires that level of scrutiny, that level of mentorship, that level of guidance to deliver on the mandates of those offices, how much more raising this one person that you're going to give to the rest of the world as a gift? Are you even planning to give a gift to the world on their, say, 18th birthday or whatever timeline that you have given to yourself? When that time comes, will you be able, and you mentioned it, what they will do in your absence. I ask parents, when you are away, that's when we will test everything you are teaching. It's not when you are there to guide and check everything that's happening. It's when you have left. And so if you're unable to leave that child on their own for 1 hour, 2 hours, the goal of leadership, the role of leadership is that every leader is supposed to raise another leader. But what we are doing is that leaders are focused on raising followers and subservient people in the name of obedience. And so that's why we're not making progress. The moment we switch our attention from just raising followers, from raising OES people, from raising people that will just obey and do everything that you say simply because, and there's no legitimate reason why they should do it, just simply because mommy said so. Mommy said so is not a reason to do it. Daddy said so is not a good reason for me to tell you. There has to be something backing the things that you're saying. And so all of this is what we're talking about. You need to be able to create structures. You need to be able to place your children in environments that encourage them to thrive. And then you need to be able to place them under accountability processes that create the discipline that they need to accomplish success.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's I'd say to that. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So thank you so much, Chiedozie. Every line, every word you have said has carried plenty of weight. In fact, I had to write it down. If you are not, you have made commitments that you have not, commitment that you have not honored yourself. there is lack of integrity there.
You don't
So
have
that one
integrity.
is speaking to me, and I'm sure it's speaking to every one of you here as parents. So those commitments you are fast, you're very fast at making at the beginning of the year. All those commitments, see, so 7th month, if you're not honoring them, then that's lack of integrity. Bros, that's big. That is huge. That one is for me also. I'm taking that one to my bank and I'm putting it there because I
Mm.
need to. I mean, integrity. I am big on integrity. So if that is integrity, then I am. I need to. I need to go and
Yeah, yeah,
respect
yeah, yeah.
myself.
Very
But there's
true.
something. There's something you said. The environment where you keep these children. We
Mm-hmm.
are here listening to Chiedozie. Who is your child listening to? My child is listening to Chiedozie, so me, I'm covered. So I don't know about
Very
you. So if your
important
child is
question.
not
Is your
listening,
child listening to, is your child listening to TikTok? Is your child listening to
exactly.
Facebook? Is your child listening to,
Exactly.
there's one now.
Mm.
Let's leave those people on social media. But there are a number of them. Who is your child listening to? Are they, because I can bet you, depending on their age, they are not listening to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not listening to you. So you want to be sure that as early as possible, they are in a place where if if they tune, the next station that they are going to catch on their antenna is the right
After
station.
you. Exactly. If they tune, the next station they will catch after you is still valuable. And then they tune, and the next one is still valuable. So even when the other weeds come around, they've been tuned to too many valuable things for that little weed that come around to actually come and choke them. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, thank you so much. So yes, I have seen the lineup of coaches that are coming for the Thrive boot camp, and it's something that will blow your mind even as a parent, right? Not to talk of your child, it will blow your mind. So Chiedozie is going to leave in, I don't know whether it's in the comments, how would we do this? Okay, so you can, Christabel is here, right? So what we can do is, I don't know how I will share this. So I think I will do a post after now
I'm
because
just
I
going to
think
drop the links for you and maybe a
you
WhatsApp
have the
number
link,
so
Chiedozie.
that,
I think you should
yeah.
drop the link right now so that those who can, some people don't waste time, so that they can just hit it and get rolling. Because we have a problem on our YouTube channel. After the live session, sometimes it's difficult to find live chats. Even when you click on the live chat, you just see one language. I don't know. So if you can just drop it for us, please just drop it. Okay, you
Okay,
have dropped
I've sent
something.
it to you,
Okay,
so
you
maybe you
have.
can
So I'm just
highlight
going
it.
to copy. Yes, I've seen it. So I'll just copy it and drop it in the link right now so that those who understand the assignments can just click, copy it, and keep it somewhere after this class so that you do the needful. The environment where you drop your child is very key. I'm not going to say anymore. I think we've exhausted what there is to say about that right here, right now. Right. So the environment is important. Click that link, just copy the link and put it somewhere. Even if you're still thinking about it, copy it, keep it somewhere. You can think about it after this class if you have not made up your mind. And I don't know why you shouldn't have made up your mind already to get your children. What age, please, Coach Terry? There's the kids that can
The age bracket is 8 to 19, so we're going to have two sessions. The junior session is 8 to 12, and the senior session is 13 to 19, because we have different content that is age specific for all of those brackets. And then we're going to have general sessions where we're dealing with everything that everybody needs by time. We have 15 coaches, so you can imagine there's so many things that they are going to be dealing with in a space of 3 weeks. You don't want to miss that. You don't want
no,
to miss
you
that.
don't.
And then also, beyond that, we have a section that is dealing with practical digital skills that your children can learn. All right. It's 360 Success Bootcamp. That's the name we gave it. And it's about developing the 360 human beings:
Yes.
finance, there's spirituality, there is education, there is health, sexuality, and all of those things encompassed. And so that's why we're going to be taking that time to do in depth study, training, classes, workshops where they can ask questions and interact with last year's bootcamp, while we're doing the bootcamp, some of the teenagers were having their own meetings on their own. So one parent called me and said, my child said one child invited him for something, and when I looked at him, I said, let them be. They are doing that. They are practicing what they learned, even independent of the bootcamp structure. So that,
Yeah.
that's kind of an assurance that these things work. They
Work.
work.
Right. All right. So for you that is thinking of how can I engage my children and all of that, this camp will engage your children for 3 weeks, right? So
Little
that's it.
days.
They have,
Yeah.
yeah. So they have what they're doing every day. Then add a book to that. Add a book to that. Let them have some book that you are reading. Then add your family bonding time. I don't know what else you need for the holiday. Grab a book, have the book camp, and then have family time where they can relax, do a meal together, hang out together, play a video game together, watch movies together, talk about family history, play a board game together, and all of that. And your what you call it, your holiday is complete. So talking
True.
about books, we have a challenge that is going on in the academy this holiday. Okay, so that challenge, we're not bringing books, we're not giving you books to read and all of that. But if you don't have reading books for your children as part of this holiday, then there's something wrong with you, dear parents. Your children should learn to read. Raise children who are lifelong learners. So if they don't have to read 30 books, they don't have to read 20 books, but make sure that they have, even if it's one, two, three, or five books that they are reading. Let the child make the choice. So what we have in that challenge is we have fun activities for a whole 30 days that will help your child cultivate the habit of learning or reading. So buy the book, get the book, and just come and we will make sure your child is reading those books through that challenge.
Awesome.
So we have
Awesome.
activities for every day that the child will be focused on the activity and reading will be happening. So by the time they do this consistently for 30 days, you will be shocked that after 30 days, your child will tell you, buy me more books. Sure, that's how I actually got Kamsi reading.
Wow, that's
I read
interesting.
to him from when he was born. I started reading before I even gave birth. I read to him from day one. He had a bedtime story every day of his life, except something came up. We read books every day. I was either reading or daddy was reading, even if it's for 2 minutes. Sometimes you read for 2 minutes and he sleeps off. But that's it. So when you see my children go to bed, you will see them with a story book. You will see them with a book in their hand. That's how they wind down for the day. So we did
Interesting.
that. And he never picked a storybook. Storybooks as it was just a problem. He would not pick a storybook. He would rather, mommy, can you read to me? So I took it, I would read aloud. So I read aloud. He would read from an encyclopedia. He would
Okay.
read from something about cars or about sheep and dogs and things like that, but he would not read, a storybook or things like that. Then we had a chance for him to join. I bought one Geronimo Stilton book once and I handed it to him. For some
Okay.
reason, he read that book and he enjoyed it. And I said, I will catch this one here. So there was a 30 days challenge. I saw him like, no, do you want to read it? I mean, do you want to join it? And I'm not really. I'm not really. I'm like, just try now. Just try. Let's see. And then I created this fun activity. So I started searching for activities that I can use and all of that. So I put those activities. It wasn't even up to 30 days, but I had a number of activities and all of that. And that's it. Every day we jump into the activity, and before you know it, it's reading. So there are different activities for different days. Sometimes it's a booknik. So we pack a basket and all of that. We put we arrange it, and then we sit to read. And I'm reading, he's reading. And I tell you, by the end of those 30, he read 30 books in 30 days. That's what the challenge was about. It wasn't my challenge. He read 30 books in 30 days, and as I speak, the rest is history. Today,
Wow.
it doesn't have to be a fiction. He reads everything that is readable, provided
He
he
has his own
tells
mastermind where he's reading to.
where he's reading and all of that. These days, it's his father's books that he's reading now. The other day, I saw him reading Power and Might or something like that. I've seen that book. I've never carried it. And it's like, amazing book, amazing book. The other day is Rule of People. Do you understand? So parents,
Yeah.
all we're saying is there's so much these children can do if we're ready to stretch ourselves to give them the opportunity. Stop
True.
saying my children don't like books. Bible, he has done it. You've not given him the reason to like those books, or you've not, created the opportunity for them to do it. So Your child has a wonderful book or books that they are reading. Your child is attending Thrive, throughout the day or at different points during the day. Your child has time to play and then time to bond with family. I promise you, this is all
Awesome.
a child needs
Awesome.
for the holiday. Thank you very much, sir, for being here. We're sorry
Thank
we had
you.
to
Thank you
take
for having me.
extra 15 minutes. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So thank you, everyone. Chidima, I see you. I see you, Becky. Becky says her child is going to the camp. Amazing. Thank you,
Awesome.
ma'am, for doing so much. I mean, Becky does so much for her son, and it's just amazing. Sometimes we should actually blow some of these parents. Chidima also, we should actually, we should actually
Very
celebrate
true.
these parents. It's
Very,
not
very
easy.
true. Very
It doesn't,
true.
it's not easy at all. I know this. Thank you, Amalola. Dr. Amala, I see you. Christabel, amazing you. So thank you very much, everyone who is here. If you want to reach out to Coach Chiedozie, I think Chiedozie, just Chiedozie, just look for
Yes.
him on
It is
Facebook.
there.
He's there. Somewhere,
You
somewhere,
find me.
somewhere. You always so you always find him. Use that link to get into Thrive, and then the challenge. All you need. Okay, Chidoz's number is even here. Let me copy it and give it to you right away so that you can just call him directly. We want to make it easy for you. You see, ba? We want to make sure that these children get. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Alrighty.
Hello. Can you hear me? Okay, I think I had a major. I was using an internet that goes off as soon as there's a power cut. Sorry about that. All right, Chiedozie is out already. I just thought to come here and just say thank you everyone who joined us, and then I can end the meeting officially. So thank you very much, Christabel. I hope we have the link, or we have. Can you just post what we need if for those who would like to join the reading challenge? It's really cheap. It's just 2,000 naira, and we are off with that challenge. So thank you very much, everyone who joined. Yeah, I had a power cut, and unfortunately, the internet that I was hooked on goes off as soon as there's a power cut, and the other one was not switched on at all. So when it went off, I couldn't switch to the other one because it was turned off. Sorry about that, everyone. All right, then. Thank you very much, everybody. I thank you for joining us. Up Nepa. Thank you, Chidima. Oh my God. Don't worry, we'll get better. We will go solar. We're going solar. We're going solar. Don't worry. We'll have this again next time. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chidima. Thank you, Facebook user. Thank you, everyone who made time to be here. Chiedozie is gone off already. Thank you, Coach Chiedozie. All right. So, everyone, see you in the group. And next time, have a lovely, lovely rest of the day and a beautiful weekend ahead. Bye. I don't see any question here, so what happened? Okay, someone asked. Thank you. All right then, bye.